Welcome in to another edition of In the Crease podcast presented by Baptist Health. 1 week in the books. Last week we got rave reviews with the video, so we thought we might bring it back. Why not? Coach, how we doing?
We're good. I was nervous about the first episode, what the feedback would be, but I like to hear that we got another episode in our bank, and we'll look forward to being able to talk a little bit more about the guys today.
Yeah, man, renewed for at least episode 2. We'll see if they keep renewing us.
Exactly.
We'll get into this a little more when it's the real deal with Bellarmine as the official opener. But how does practice? How do things change on a game week?
Yeah, I think the mindset for the guys is there's light at the end of the tunnel. Preseason is really difficult when you don't have that I guess your why on Saturday afternoons. And regardless if it's a scrimmage or a game, just to know that you're going to have the opportunity to score a goal that's going to end up on the scoreboard, or to make a save that's going to end up in the box score. And for us, you see this shift of focus. The fall is always a challenge, but I think the guys know that it's a training phase. The preseason is difficult because while it's close, it still feels far away. And I think as soon as you hit that first week, each day has a little bit different meaning, and you can already feel it in the facility with the amount of attention to detail, the guys getting some extra work in outside of practice. They know that there's going to be a result on Saturday, regardless of if it's in the record books or not. There's going to be a win or loss, and we're going to know it when we leave.
All right, now let's fast forward a little bit. You've made it through game prep week. What are some of the goals for that experience on the field on Saturday?
Yeah, I think the biggest goal for us is to be able to see what this year's team looks like. There's always a shift in personnel and strategy and how we're doing things in between the lines, the face-off game. So for us, it's just to see what our team looks like with a ref on the field. So that's number one. Number two would be, I think, again, the camaraderie of it. Again, you lose the ability for 50 guys to support one another when you're at practice. So to hear what that sounds like on the sidelines, to see the subbing, and to feel fans again, to have our parents be able to watch us play, it just provides you a different level of intensity that practice just can't emulate.
You just mentioned it there. We're gonna have fans.
Yeah.
You want to share some detail on what that looks like?
Yeah, we were able to have a fantastic Zoom last night with with all of our families, and just be able to lay out our plan here at JU. And we are unbelievably lucky to be supported by an administration that has made fans possible. And although it might not be as intimate as it has been in the past, and our sideline seating, which has been a staple for us, won't be available this year, the fact that we're going to be able to have people watching us play lacrosse this Saturday is not common across the country. And we're going to have teams on our schedule when we travel that won't allow that. So I have a sneaking suspicion that we'll have a little bit more fans than you would normally expect at a scrimmage, because they know there may only be a handful of opportunities to see these guys live this year.
Sure. And of course, for the fans who aren't able to make it, we'll have each of the 5 home games broadcast in some way, shape, or form. 4 of them confirmed for ESPN Plus, which is always exciting to put it on the mothership there.
It is.
With Disney behind us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now going forward, you've gotten past the scrimmage. There is a second scrimmage with Limestone, and then on to Bellarmine. Describe that dynamic of playing a conference opponent, but it's not a conference game. What that's going to be like for you?
Yeah, I think this year we learned that nothing is going to be the same as it has been in the past. And when Bellarmine reached out, and I give a lot of credit to Coach Whitley, he has worked really tirelessly to make sure his team has games, and we felt the same way. So I don't think our guys care about whether they're SoCon or out of conference. They want to play, again, a game that's going to go in the record book. And Bellarmine plays this Saturday. They play Mercer in a non-conference game on January 30th. And I think when our guys saw that, everybody's chomping at the bit to play. Some teams haven't even practiced yet. The fact that we're going to play on February 10th in a home game at that, and we did not have a lot of those this year. The fact that we get to defend, Rock Beach, the fact that we get to come out of this building in a game uniform, I don't think the guys really cared who we played. And I think the opportunity to play, obviously, a team we're familiar with, that's well coached, that's going to have 2 games already under their belt at that point, gives us an opportunity to really challenge ourselves in early February.
Who has stood out for you? Some warriors in practice. Who's been been looking good and feeling good and really chomping at the bit to get out there.
Yeah, I think anytime you have a senior-led team, you always look at your leadership first, and I have to think about the guys that have been with us for a long time, have obviously had success. Jeremy Winston has come back with a newfound attitude about how he plays the game. Jack Dolan, I think we're moving him around in different places where I think he has found the most success. And then Dixon Smith, Colin Hinton, Tyler Morris came back probably with the largest improvement I've ever seen from year 1 to year 4. Jack Heed on the defensive end. There's a stable foundation down there, and when you bring in new guys like a Connor Shears from Bucknell and a Matt Stagnita from Johns Hopkins that are fifth years, they bring in this wealth of experience, excitement to play the game of lacrosse, and knowing that this is another chance for them, I think has really changed their outlook on practice, their outlook on extra work, and it's allowed us to have a little bit more fun on the field.
You mentioned a couple of names here that I'm going to bring up next. The SoCon put out their preseason stuff. Dolphins picked 4th with Dixon Smith, Evan Tyler, and Jack Dolan put on the preseason all-conference team. You want to give some thoughts to that?
Yeah, I think anytime you get accolades, it's important. I never am one to shy away from individual accolades. I think those guys deserve it. I mean, those 3 specifically have worked really hard. They're now later on in their career. But I also think it's motivating. I think it's motivating for a lot of guys in the locker room that maybe weren't noticed. And I think as a team, to be voted 4th, I think that at this point is now a chip that we've been able to carry. I had a few alums send me that picture just to remind me to make sure to use it as bulletin board material. And the truth is our conference is very competitive. I think that even the teams, the Mercers and the Bellarmins and the VMIs that have made significant investments in their program have gotten better each year. So regardless of what the preseason polls say, you can kind of paint that either picture, but I do think the truth is, that motivated our guys, that motivated our coaching staff to know that, we still have a lot to prove within the Southern Conference.
You just mentioned how good the league is. Where have you seen the growth in the league these last couple of years? Obviously, we had our shot a couple of years ago. You kind of see different teams going in and out of that 4-team tournament at the end of the year. Where have you seen that biggest growth that now this league is putting teams in those top 25 rankings pretty consistently?
Yeah, I think Richmond has been the model of consistency. There's no doubt about it. I think they've done a good job of staying at the top of their game. I think High Point Air Force have had years and flashes of moments where you could see them in the top 10, 15 in the country, which gives us a lot of credibility to have teams like that. And then really, again, I go back to Mercer and Bellarmine, these 2 programs who schedule really difficult, in the out-of-conference, similar to what we do, have made investments in new coaches, have made investments in recruiting, and you can see that every time they play, every time they take the field, it's gotten a little bit better. And then VMI, again, I always look at the military schools with a sense of appreciation and what they do and what they go through. And I've always felt like that is a program that, while incremental, they've gotten better every year since I've been in this conference. So you look at the 7-team conference, there's no gimmies. And I think that's what makes our conference so appealing to a lot of people, is that on any given day. And that's where we have to kind of shape our minds as we get ready for that.
Shifting gears just a little bit, or a lot of bit, Dolphin Dash is coming up.
Yeah.
Big deal for us.
Yeah.
Big deal for this program. You guys always perform well with Dolphin Dash. Tell us a little bit about what Dolphin Dash is and what your goals are for that and how that kind of works.
Yeah, Dolphin Dash is a university athletic department-wide competition for fundraising dollars in a week-long stretch. And I think that our team, our external team, our fundraising has done an amazing job of making it not only competitive and getting the players and the coaches involved, but making it really enjoyable, really painting a picture for what that gives to our student athletes. And when you talk about what Dolphin Dash has meant to us, I mean, it's changed the way we operate. I mean, we are a nationally competitive team in terms of what we can do financially because of Dolphin Dash. And I just have to say, I mean, already our family, what they've been able to do and support, and our alums now being able to be involved in that, we are surrounded by people who want to make this place successful. And there's so many names, I can't even list them all off right now, but I can tell you that the folks that give to that 88 Club, the folks that help us in Dolphin Dash, they're not only providing their financial support, they're giving our guys an experience that a lot of people before us, they didn't have. And that's probably the best part about it.
And, for the folks at home, wanting more information on Dolphin Dash, please stay tuned to JUDolphins.com. All of our social media platforms, every coach, every program is going to be represented in some way, shape, or form. We'll make sure to have that info out there, how to donate, and the different ways you can donate. So there's a lot of things to do there, and it all goes to our student athletes and direct to their budget. So it's a big deal this time of year. You know, as we have a couple of minutes here, Coach, AFC Championship didn't go our way, but
it did it.
15-4 is no joke. As Coach McDermott said yesterday, it's not little tweaks. You know, we'll go back, we'll reevaluate the whole thing, and go for the next one. But let's eulogize real quick for me the Bills.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I think people will make fun of folks who have such a commitment to their professional teams. But as a coach, you know, I watched the Buffalo Bills over the last 30 plus years, and a lot of it I think is I can compare it to Jacksonville. You know, I can compare this growth, this want to from the families and the alums, and when you start to have success, then the expectations are risen. I think that's what happened to Buffalo fans this year. Is now the expectation 2 years ago is how do we get into playoffs? How do we make a competitive team in the AFC East? And that's shifted. That's changed. The mindset of that organization, that city has changed. And just like it was in the early 90s, now it's the expectation is to be back here and to be even more competitive next year. And that's our goal, is to create a culture similar to the Buffalo Bills. You know, I can say it easily because I'm a Bills fan, but I do see a lot of parallels between our programs and what we're trying to build here. And I listened to the 45-minute Coach McDermott presser yesterday, and a lot of the things he said reminded me of the things that are important to us, and how it doesn't just happen every year just because you were there last year, and the process that it takes, and the capacity of being humble and hungry throughout an entire football season. And something we saw from them was the whole championship caliber mindset and what that means, not on game day, but leading up to that point. And you know, again, we're an organization that I think runs parallel with a lot of things that they're doing, and hopefully continuing on that trajectory.
Yeah, there's something to that there. You just mentioned the fan base, right? And there's something to the fact that our fans are begging us to be here. Mm-hmm. They want to be at these games and a part of this program. And, you know, not every program has that, so it's credit to you for building that culture here of the people who just want to play for it and want to support it. It's a big brand piece for us, so that's kudos to you, Coach. And
I appreciate that.
Anything you want to add before we head out here?
No, I mean, again, I don't know if people realize. I think, you know, on social media now you can take a step back and look at, you know, the Ivy League not quite set on what they're going to do, and the Big Ten only playing each other, and colleges and universities across the country pausing their season. And, you know, I look at all of that, and then I take a step back and know that we're going to go to practice today at 3:30, and we're going to play against an opponent on Saturday at 1 o'clock. We did an exercise with the team about you know, what you're grateful for and what greatness is, and I think right now that exercise couldn't mean more to not only our players but to our program and its entirety, that we get to be really grateful to play the game of lacrosse on Saturday afternoon and be, you know, gosh, 2 weeks away from a real game day. And there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I think the guys are starting to see it.
It's exciting, Coach.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do it. Excited to get on the field. And the next time we talk to the folks at home, we'll have put one under our belts.
Absolutely. Right, I look forward to it.
Well, thanks for joining us again for another edition, episode 2 of the Into Crease podcast, brought to you by Baptist Health. Have a good one, Coach.
And you too, Matt. Thanks.